we are back. This is the one and only Get the Edge. I'm Scott Matthews. I am the host of the show. It's the holidays. We're on the road. We're at a secret location we'll talk about just a minute. But I want to bring in my co-hosts because they've been with me all year long and they make it happen right alongside me each and every week. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the CEO of TK Wins, Tommy King. What's up, T?
Hey, what's up, guys? Just getting ready for another week. We got a lot of bowl games. We actually got live TV in the bowl game going on while we're doing the show.
We got some beautiful women
You guys are all
behind us.
sitting back there. Going to be serving some drinks later on. I'm ready to roll for a big week here in the College of Pro Football.
Any big plans for the Christmas week? Anything going on with the TK family and friends
I
thing?
don't know, might take a little trip down to the Keys for
No
1 or 2
100-pound
days.
pig?
Oh, we got the pig. I got the Serrano ham. I just got get ready to cut that up this week. But
right.
other than that, just going to hang
All
low.
business.
All business, man. With the
right.
bowl games and stuff, it's all business this week.
I'm going to kick it to my other partner in crime. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. We all know. Look at the shades. Wow, he's really incognito
listen.
today. Ted, here he is. Teddy Brooks, CEO, Sports
Listen, I'll
Profits.
take the shades off for a second, but we're in a different location and the lights are bright. And
We're
I
in a
have
great
little,
location.
I have a little eye sensitivity, but I'm happy to be here, so I don't care. But listen, guys, this is bowl week. While most people are taking off, relaxing, spending time with their family, we kick it into heavy high
What?
gear with
Relaxing.
the work.
No relaxing
No
over
relaxing for us. We kick it into high gear. It's time to predict these bowl games, figure out what's going on. You got to pay close attention to these bowl games with all the moving parts. I'm sure you guys agree with me here.
Yeah, we've seen it happen in the last few games. Look at the favorites, 13-1 so far. I
Yeah,
think in the bowl
we're
games.
gonna get into these bowl games in a second, but I think before we do that, we want to talk a little bit about the location that we're at here.
Oh, yeah, we want to bring in definitely the woman behind the plan that made it happen for us today to be here on this holiday day. And they're busy, and they gave us the opportunity to come in. Sophie, come on in. She's the general manager of the Whiskey Neat right here in Plantation, Florida. How you doing? Happy holidays. Yes.
I'm great, thank you. I'm so glad you guys are here.
You look great in your Christmas colors.
Thank you.
For the holidays.
I like to embrace the holidays a little bit.
Tell us a little bit about Whiskey Neat. I mean, I've been coming here recently myself. Love coming here. You know, great vibe, great atmosphere. How long you
Thank
guys been in this
you.
location?
This location was originally a quarterdeck space, a full quarterdeck space. There were pool tables and dartboards, and we noticed that it wasn't as busy as it used to be. And we had our other concept originally, which is 4 years old, at our 17th Street location, and it was doing so well. We knew that Plantation didn't have anything like it, so we decided to open up Whiskey Neat here as well.
Changing with the times a
Yes, changing with the times.
Good.
I really, I grew up in Plantation, so I knew there was nothing like it, and I knew that people would love it, and they do. We're doing really well. We have over 300 whiskeys. We specialize in craft cocktails. We serve beer and wine as well, but the magic happens when you come in and you want to taste something completely different from what you usually drink, and the bartenders will guide you and, show you something different and delicious that you can try.
So I would assume it would bring in a different type of element of crowd from like the quarterdeck crowd. Maybe it's a Whiskey Neat. You might get a different type of audience, obviously, coming in here versus to the quarterdeck.
Definitely. We get a little bit of the post-dinner nightcap from Quarterdeck, and then we get a lot of people that in Weston that wouldn't normally come to Quarterdeck because there's nothing else. Pembroke Pines, because there's nothing else in Pembroke Pines. People that don't want to go all the way down to Miami, they come here, and it's just a great vibe, a good atmosphere. They don't have to drive an hour to go to a nice club.
No, it's a nice club. It's a beautiful setup, guys. If you can see it like in the screenshot here, you got to really look at the bar behind it. I mean, I'm not a drinker to really get into it, but look at all the different bottles and.
Yeah.
I'll take that over real quick. I
there
was
you
talking
go.
about it before. So, guys, and Sophie, I think we talked about this before, and you would agree, allocated whiskey, especially allocated American whiskey, is booming. Like, people are collecting bottles at this point and as an investment. So they'll buy a bottle for a couple $100 that'll be worth $1,000 in a few years. So this is a trend, kind of like sports betting, which is what we talk about here on the show, that's growing rapidly. So I love seeing it. I've been in Plantation for a long time too. I always said Plantation is lacking two things: a really good whiskey bar and a really good cigar bar. Now, my hopes was that when you guys opened, you kind of implemented a cigar bar. Also, I know there's a lot of regulations and issues behind that, but they did open one down the street in the Walk. You guys have the whiskey bar here, so I think it's a really cool concept, and hopefully it grows.
Thank you.
And they have the number one man.
It's a great place to watch a Panther game. Like we talked about, you can come here and watch the Panthers game or what.
That's
couple
another
blocks
thing,
away.
guys. I don't think, did we say it in this one? I don't think we did. The Panthers Arena, where the Florida Panthers play, is probably about a mile from here. So I'm sure you guys get a lot of pre and post game Panthers.
We are a Panthers bar through and through. During playoffs, we do parties here, watch parties with DJs. We have specials. We team up with Jameson. It is a huge party here before and after the game.
I'm sure it helps when you're the Stanley Cup champions.
Oh
Right?
yeah, you
Finally,
know,
right.
it was pretty amazing last season.
You might have a good crowd. I mean, we're doing this show early. You might have a good crowd tonight. They're playing against Tampa Bay.
Tonight
But
we will have a great crowd. I
Are they
think.
here?
They're playing
Yeah,
Tampa
they're
last
playing
night.
They did the
home.
back-to-back.
Yeah,
Tampa,
back-to-back.
in Tampa yesterday.
now, how long
here
has this
today.
location been open?
We've been open for a little over a year now.
Okay.
And it has far exceeded our expectations
Oh, that's
of
great.
how it would do. You know, I may not know sports, but I know whiskey, and I love selling it. I love
You're the
talking to
opposite
people.
of
Yeah.
I love sports.
Well,
I don't know
I
much about
love
whiskey.
sports, but you know, I couldn't host a podcast about it. I'll say that.
But you could host a podcast about whiskey.
I could,
Okay.
definitely,
She looks like
definitely.
she's ready to talk.
So,
I have
yeah.
a question. Do you guys have the Forester's birthday?
I do have Old Forester birthday bourbon.
Wow. See, if you have birthday bourbon, that's like a $1,500 bottle approximately.
Yes.
Aftermarket.
It sells, yes.
Right, aftermarket, about
Yeah.
a $1,500 bottle. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. I might have to
So-
talk to you about that
I
after
think
the
Teddy
show.
knows his stuff
All right,
here,
well, we
TK.
could
I know he
taste.
knows his stuff about whiskey,
Well,
but he was putting on the tequilas yesterday, though.
Listen, you know,
I'm a tequila girl too. So.
see, the thing about tequila, it's clean. It keeps whiskey kind of weighs you down, slows you down. It's got a lot of sugar in it. Tequila's much cleaner, and yeah, whiskey's for nighttime. Tequila's for daytime.
Well,
That's
we
the way I-
really, really
I look at
appreciate
it.
you letting us come in here today and shoot our show here. This is a great spot. We got two of the prettiest girls in Broward County right here, the two head bartenders at Whiskey Neat. Come say hello to them. They're here almost every night, I guess, right, girls? Every night working.
Yeah.
They got a great situation here, and again, thank you so much for letting us be here today.
Thank you
being
so
a
much
part
for
of it.
having
Awesome.
me.
Now, guys,
Happy
that was the
holidays.
Happy
fun-
holidays.
Awesome. That was the fun stuff, guys.
Thank you.
Now we're going to get into the bowl games, which if you've been watching these bowl games lately, to me, they haven't been as fun, but we'll talk about that here in a second.
Yeah, we're going to come right back to the bowl action. We're going to kick it off with some college football bowl games, and then we're going to jump into the NFL right after this commercial break. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. We got a lot to talk about this week, guys. We got college football going almost every single day, right through the holidays, right through New Year's. And, big games coming up. I know you guys have been working on it, just like myself. I see some good matchups this week. A couple of games really stood out for me. And I wanted to get right into it with you, TK, because I know you've been looking at some matchups all week yourself. Anything in particular coming your way?
Well,
Big plays this
hopefully
week.
these games are better than last week. I mean, SMU,
talk about
you know, these games, I mean, some of these teams shouldn't even have been in these playoff rounds. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Well, we're going to get into.
Tennessee and SMU.
I want
they
to
didn't
hear your
deserve it.
opinion on that, TK, because I have a lot of opinions on this past weekend. Before we get into our predictions, what do you think about what happened?
They got to do something about this system here because SMU, they didn't even show up to the game. Tennessee didn't even show up to the game. They were just absolute blowouts on those games. I'm a dog player, so I was a little upset this week, but it's going to be changing coming into these bigger bowl games. Players aren't going to be sitting out as much. I think college football, they need to get rid of this transfer protocol.
Yeah.
You know, you got to look at that. You got, let them switch one time, but now these guys going 3-4 times. I don't know about that.
But I gotta disagree with you guys a little bit. I mean, I told you it's like you play, you play to win. I mean, if you're winning and you get in, I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, I mean, yeah, I mean, you say, well, because these games were blowouts and so forth and so on. Okay, but at the end of the day, they did what they had to do to get in. and that's it. I feel.
See, I strongly disagree, Scotty. I know.
I do disagree too,
I don't
man.
don't take this disrespectfully, but if you have two eyeballs, you know for a fact that, and we had this discussion last week. We had a discussion about, hey, Alabama, they lost to Vanderbilt, they don't deserve to make it. Miami, they lose to Syracuse in that last matchup. Key matchup, they don't deserve to make it. TK made a comment, and I agreed with him. If you lose to Syracuse, you don't deserve to make it. Well, guess what? I'm man enough to say I'm eating my words right now because I know for a fact Miami, Alabama,
Ole Miss.
South Carolina, and Ole Miss would all have fared better against these teams
but
in the first round.
But you could say that it's always easy to say stuff like that after the fact. What if the games were close? Then what would you say?
Then I would
Just
say they
'cause
made.
they're
They
blowouts.
made,
You can't say
I would
that.
say they did a good job then.
I think you're going to see a trend, though. I
The
think
better
if they,
teams won at the end of the day. That's
They did.
my opinion.
let me ask you a question.
So what's the difference if they were close games? Would
Let
it
me
have
ask
made
you
a difference?
this: Alabama
What,
plays
no, my question, I'm saying, if they were close games, would it have made
absolutely,
it,
yeah.
Would,
if
you
they
would
were
have felt more comfortable.
if they were close games, I
Okay,
would have
so
felt
you-
more comfortable.
so
but
you're saying
we
because
have
they
to
were
look at the
blowouts.
future, though, right? We have to look at the future. Is the future going to be like this every year, where the first round is all blowouts every year? And if it is, that's a problem. So
Right.
look at that Penn State SMU game. What if you put Alabama against Penn State?
Yeah, but are you taking into consideration these were home games for these teams
I
because they
am.
did what they had to do to get there?
I
So
am.
they have teams coming on the road, even though, teams coming on the road into buildings that are tough to win in anyways. If you think about it, it's not
Penn
easy
State
to
did
win
have
at
Penn State did have a big whiteout party there,
Right.
but
and Texas is, no joke. I mean, if
Oh no, Texas, Clemson. I'm not really complaining as much
So,
about.
I mean, they had to go on the road, so it makes it a little more difficult. If it was in neutral sites, maybe these games would have been closer.
It does.
But
It
when,
does.
when you ever seen so many turnovers in a game, so many pick sixes in games? I've been watching football since I was a little kid. I don't think I've ever seen that many pick sixes in games like that. They're back and forth turnovers. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. I also think you have a lot of changes going on in college football, so maybe things will kind of settle in. But if you put an Alabama, an Ole Miss, a South Carolina, Miami against Penn State, I think it'd be a lot closer matchup. That's all I'm saying.
well-
I don't think the 12 best teams in college football are in the playoffs.
Right.
That's all I'm saying here.
Right.
To me, it's about getting the 12 best teams, and I just don't think that's how they did it. But listen, there's always next year.
But I
Right.
will take the one
Exactly.
blowout win last week, Notre Dame taking out Scotty's Indiana.
Don't talk
Oh,
about
man.
that.
Almost
I was-
covered at the last
That was a-
minute.
that was
You
a
know
That was a
what's
good great.
funny?
That was a good game.
That was
though.
a blowout too.
It was, but
looked
that's
closer.
Well, they
that's
came
the
back.
one game that I thought was going to be close. That's the one game that I thought.
All right, so here's a
was gonna be
perfect
close.
example. Look at that particular matchup. Here you go. You got two teams 11-1. They deserve to be there. You agree based on performance?
Oh, that's
No-
the one team I agree with.
Notre
Yeah.
Dame winning 10 in a row,
Yeah.
10 this season. The only loss for Indiana was against a powerhouse Ohio State in their building. So now they match up. That game was a one-sided affair. If Indiana didn't score those late touchdowns, they got their ass kicked in that game.
That was a great
Yeah.
onside
So
kick.
No,
at the
I
end.
when you say
agree.
they don't deserve to, Indiana don't deserve to be there. No, I think they
It's
did.
a
They
tough
just-
call, man.
Yeah,
we
tough
we
call,
got to
yeah.
explore a lot of things going
All right,
into
well,
it.
let's move it, guys.
But wait, real quick,
So this week-
What I will say about this whole thing is that it's the first time that it's ever happened, so it's going to give us some experience.
Oh, well, I want to get into this.
Well, I think we got some drinks coming.
Yeah, we definitely
Oh, wow.
need one.
Scott's even having a drink.
Wow. Thank you.
There we
girls.
go. I'm gonna save the
We
line.
got
but
Sophia
thank you
and
very much.
Brittany here with us. Thanks, girls. Appreciate
That's
it.
the reason, guys, why we really did the show here, so we could have a couple afternoon drinks, because our job is so stressful trying to figure these games out that sometimes you need a little
I'm
beverage.
grabbing a
All
sip.
right,
first.
Cheers, guys. Cheers to Get the
Happy
Edge
holidays.
year one.
Happy holidays, guys. Many more.
So let's get right into the college football then.
So let's get into these games. I mean, listen, just because the games didn't work out the way we wanted to, even though, guys, look at this game right here.
14-0.
UTSA beating Coastal by 14
touchdowns.
nothing.
Yep.
So interesting thing, when I gave this game out on last week's show, what was UTSA, a 7-point favorite?
7 and went to
How's
12 and
that?
a
Yeah,
half.
it jumped to
Strong.
12 because of some adjustments. So keep that in mind with these bowl games.
Yeah,
guys.
well, that's what's been happening. All right, guys, I want to get into it because we got a lot to talk about. I want to get into this week's selections. I want to kick it off with TK, see what's on his mind. Who you looking at in the bowl games this week to help the audience out with some winners?
I'm going to start off with this Birmingham Bowl. Georgia Tech against Vandy. Current line, Georgia Tech is 2.5 and 51.5. I'm jumping on Georgia Tech in this one. Georgia Tech 6-1 straight up their last 7 as a favorite. I'm not going to lay the points. I'm going to play the money line on this one and start Friday. My Friday, you know, Teddy, how I've done on Fridays. I'm going to cash in on Friday and start the weekend off. But Georgia Tech on the money line minus the 135.
I like that one.
Okay, you're taking it from 3 down to a money line.
Yeah, it's 2.5. I'm going to tell you, the money line right now is minus 135.
Okay.
Like I said, Georgia Tech 6-1 straight up their last 7 as a favorite. When it's under 3 points, I always take the money line.
Okay.
So I'm going to just take the money
Did you
line. and
pick up
skip it.
last Friday's game?
Last Friday, yes, it was. The one I beat Scotty on Notre Dame over Indiana. That
Oh,
was my
you
Friday
had Notre
night
Dame,
leg.
he had Indiana.
My
Oh,
winning
boy.
percentage on Friday nights, I think that might be the only night
Oh,
I bet
boy.
on. You know,
Oh,
let's
boy.
make some money on this one. Georgia Tech on the money line.
Okay. How you rating that game?
4 stars.
4 stars. Anything else you're
The
looking at?
only one I'm going to do, other college game I'm going to do, bowl game, is going to be this Fenway Bowl. It's going to be an early game on 11 o'clock Eastern time on Friday. Current line right now, North
Friday again?
No, this one's on, Saturday.
Okay.
It's 11 a.m. on Saturday. North Carolina right now is 3-point favorite. Don't run there, I think it's 52. I'm going to jump on the dog in this one. I'm going to take UConn plus the 3 points. North Carolina just 2-9 their last 11 against the spread. 1-7-8 their last 9 as a favorite, North Carolina. I'm going to jump on UConn. I'm going to take the 3 points. Get a nice early win on Saturday morning. Early game, 11 o'clock action start on Saturday.
Gotta go against North Carolina before Bill Belichick comes in there
Oh,
and
he's
changes
coming
the
in.
whole program.
I'm sure he'll be at the game on
What do you think about that, Scotty, being a Patriot fan for so long?
You know, I think it's going to be good for the program. I mean, you got a world-class coach. I mean, what can you take away from this guy? More Super Bowl rings than anybody else in the history of the NFL.
Why do you think he went to college over to pros? Trying to find a new girlfriend on the campus? I don't know what's he trying to do over there.
Yeah, right. Well, he's got a pretty hot one right now. She's like 25 years old, former, I think, cheerleader for the New England Patriots. So I don't think he has a problem with the females right now.
Nope.
But I don't know. I think that he probably recognized the pros were kind of passing him by, and he wants to coach. He loves coaching. That's the name of the game for him. That's what he lives for.
Did you ever get to meet him up at the Patriots in
Yes.
person?
Oh,
or?
yeah. I've met him a few times. Yes, I've met him at different functions.
I know I've been on the field with you in New England a few times for a couple games.
He happens to be a really nice guy. A lot of these guys that you think are out there or wild guys, but he was a pretty cool guy. He was very friendly to me and my son when we went up there for a fantasy camp probably about 7 years ago. But yeah, I got nothing bad to say about him. I want to ask you what's going on with college football, man.
All right,
Talk to
college
me.
football. Let's look at
We want to
Thursday.
go into the NFL too.
We're pulling it back to Thursday, and we're looking at this Pittsburgh versus Toledo game. This is called the Game Above Sports Bowl. I love these bowl names. They change every year. They're a lot of fun. So you look at this game, and it was at -7 Pittsburgh when they weren't really sure if Eli Holstein, Pittsburgh's starting quarterback, was going to be playing or not. If Eli Holstein wasn't playing, the second-string quarterback's transferring, so they'd be on their third string. Well, just recently, they became confident that Eli Holstein would be playing, which caused the line to jump from -7 to -9, and I'm still all over that -9 for Pitt. Toledo does have a stable situation where a lot of their players are staying in place, but guys, they're 4-10 against the spread.
Line's 6.5. by the way.
6.5. It moved to 6.5. Back to 6.5.
It moved back to 6.5.
No, just moved back.
Yeah, because he's. I don't know if he is.
So this brings me to my my analysis of this game. So
He's questionable.
Toledo's 4-10 against the spread when the total sits between 49.5 and 56. They're 4-10 against the spread, also playing against a team with a winning record. So here's my bottom line for this: you got the Pitt Panthers, who are 4-1 against the spread after a week off, which is a situation we're in right now, and they're 9-2 in the first half against the spread. Plain and simple, guys. If Eli Holstein is playing in this game, I am riding Pittsburgh as far as I got to ride him. If he is not playing in this game, I am not betting the game. So Eli Holstein playing, I'm rolling with the Panthers.
Okay.
Eli Holstein not playing, I'm leaving the game alone.
All right.
Keep your eyes on it. Make sure he's playing. And if he is, bet the game.
What else you looking at, Teddy?
I'm also looking at Friday, Texas A&M versus USC, the Las Vegas Bowl. These are two teams that are rich in talent, but they're getting depleted by the transfer portal. I have some portal statistics. Guys, there's websites that'll give you reports on what's going on in the portal, and it's very important to follow. A&M has 5 players leaving for the portal. USC has 11 players leaving for the portal. Here's the way I'm looking at it. A&M Their defensive front is being depleted by the portal and injuries, but USC does not have Miller Moss, their starting quarterback.
He's into it this week. You can see.
Woody Marks,
I
their
think he's
running
3
back.
drinks in already.
Woody Marks, their running back. He's out. He's
you
going
like?
to the portal. Don't rush me, Scotty.
Let's go.
We're going with Texas
Ben's
A&M.
looking at me.
Texas A&M -3, locking that one in. There might be a problem with our sound. So do we need to take a break, Ben? Oh, okay. See, you're wrong. But the bottom line is USC has more players going out than Texas A&M does. I'm rolling with Texas A&M here. I'm buying it down to 3 and locking it in. This is, you always ask me, Scotty,
Yes.
what's your best bet? What's your best bet?
Okay.
This is my best bet right here.
All right, excellent.
I
Excellent
got another
work.
college, but I don't know if we're...
Yeah, we can go right ahead. Finish it up.
All right, I'll finish it up. I'm running out of breath here. All right, BYU versus Colorado, Coach Prime, right? Prime time. So
That's gonna be a good game.
My whole thing with Colorado is this. Coach Prime said, ain't nobody sitting this game out. Shadur Sanders, top 5 NFL pick, he's playing. Travis Hunter, top 5 NFL pick, Heisman Trophy winner, he's playing. That's all I need to know. I don't need to get into much detail about this game. Colorado's 9-1 against the spread in their last 10. BYU's 1-5 against the spread in their last 6. I'm fired up to put my money on Coach Prime and the crew here in this one. Colorado hasn't won a bowl game since 2004. His boys are going to get it done.
I think
in
we
this
need
game.
you to do an Aflac commercial
I am
after that
fired
one.
up.
I don't know, man. I think the girls behind us got them all fired up.
I ran out of gas.
Okay. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to make it real quick. I got 2 plays I really love this week in college football. Since the gentleman over here took up the time, I'm going to make it simple. I love Boston College. I want to get that line to +3. Definitely this week. Love BC in this spot. They always play well in bowls. They've always done well for me. I've made a lot of money with them over the years. I feel this is an excellent opportunity as a live dog. They're always prepared for these bowl games, especially as a dog. I feel they're in the right place. I would get this line to +3.5 and make this game count. Current line I'm showing
It's 3.5 and 45.5 right now.
it is 3.5.
So you're getting a 3.5 on that one.
All right. I like BC in that game big time. And also I'm jumping on Texas Tech against Arkansas as a live dog. I like Texas Tech in that game. I like it +2 playing against Arkansas. And those are the 2 plays that I like this week in college football on the bowl selections. We're going to come right back in just a minute from now. We're going to kick into the NFL with our selections for this week. So pay close attention right after the break. All right, we're back. We're going to kick it into the NFL this week because there's some big-time games going on I think on Thursday. We got Friday. We got, Saturday. Thursday,
Christmas Day.
Saturday, and Sunday.
We got Christmas Day football too.
We got
Wednesday.
Monday. We got a lot of NFL action during the holidays, guys, and we want to help you the best we can to give you that winning edge. So I'm going to kick it off with my man over here. He's jacked up. He's got a little drink in front of him. He's ready to rumble. I'm gonna
Cheers
kick it
to
off-
Whiskey Neat.
Kick it off with Teddy. Teddy, who's your best bet this week in the NFL?
Listen, guys, I'm rolling with the same play I went with last week. Right now, they're in the playoff hunt still. It might be a thin margin, but they're in the playoff hunt still. I'm not breaking down a lot of numbers on this. No trends, no analytics. It's very simple for me. I'm rolling with Joey fucking Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. This is a defense that has been troubled all year, but this is a quarterback and an offense that has been top tier all year long, and they're finally started putting it together. They blew out the Browns, as I said they would last week, and they're going to blow out the Broncos. You got rookie quarterback who I love, Bo Nix. You know I love him, Scott.
Yep,
You know I'm a
Bo
huge
Nix.
Bo Nix
Yep,
guy,
you're a Bo
but
Nix
this
guy.
is not his week. I'm rolling with the Bengals. I think it's sitting at right now
3 and 50. Bengals
minus
-3.
3. Why not buy it to -2? Play it safe. Get that half a point. If they win by a field goal, you're locked in. I'm not turning my back on the Bengals.
I can't believe it's the last week of an
Is that
NFL.
your best bet?
2 more weeks. I
2 more
thought.
weeks?
2
There's
more
2 more weeks
yeah.
NFL?
2 weeks.
2 more
NFL
weeks.
week 17.
17's not as meaningful, but there are going to be meaningful games, though. This is a meaningful game right here.
Yeah.
This game has playoff implications.
And Broncos?
That's what you have to look for in these last couple weeks. You can't be betting on these games like the Giants versus, the Raiders or whatever it is where there's nothing.
The Giants got whipped yesterday, man. That was a
Well, what do you expect?
That was
They've
You know,
been
they-
getting whipped all
a
year
lot of
long.
turnovers in
They
that
locked
game.
in their first round draft.
That franchise
first
is
overall
falling
pick.
apart.
Hey, Miami Dolphins are still in the race. They're still in the hunt. They need a miracle, but the Dolphins are still in
The
the playoff
Miami
race.
Dolphins are still in it. They need the Bengals to actually. They actually need the Bengals in that game I just gave, and they need a couple other things. But if they win out and some other stuff happen, they're in the playoffs.
All right, give us a winner. Come on, T.
I'm playing one game.
NFL.
I've got one game so far. It's early Monday. I'll have more probably on the weekend. I got this Minnesota Green Bay game. Minnesota right now 1-48.5. I'm going to jump on the pack here. Got Scotty's boy behind the helm with Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Got to look at this. Packers are red hot versus spread on the road. They're 7-3 their last 10 on the road against the spread. They're on the road against Minnesota. I'm taking a point. Probably don't even need a point. Packers will probably win this game straight up. But I'm going to jump on the Packers and have a nice Sunday afternoon payday.
Look at that! Look at that division. If you look at it, you got Minnesota 12-2, you got Detroit 12-2, you got the Pack 11-3. I mean, what a division! Unbelievable strength. Any of those three teams have a shot actually to go far in the NFL playoffs.
The thing with Detroit, they took care of business yesterday. I actually had the Bears. I lost that game, but Detroit got more injuries in that game yesterday. He's keeping his starters in the games. Detroit, I think that coach is kind of hurting the team because these players are getting hurt. They should be rested in the last few weeks. I know you're fighting for the division, home field advantage, whatnot, but you can't.
Minnesota breathing right down
Yeah, you
your
can't
back.
be banging out guys like that. I mean, your top players are starting to drop. I mean,
There's still a chance that Green Bay somehow could win that division if they beat Minnesota and Detroit loses. It comes down to the final week to see what happens there, to see who would win that division. I would.
Detroit's
Yeah.
going to be playing against an
Ab-
angry San Fran team after they lost to Miami.
Absolutely.
I'm going to definitely agree with you. I love Green Bay in this spot. I just think right now they're just moving in that plateau that I like. I mean, Minnesota's playing great. Sam Darnold, thumbs up to him. Huge year this year. Tremendous season. Weapons, defense. But I just got this feeling this number to me is not a good number. This is a number that makes me scratch my head. And I like to jump on games like this. I think Green Bay is an absolute live dog in this game. And I feel they have a shot to win the game. I think that this is going to be a very interesting situation for that division. Like I said, I'm curious to see what happens if Green Bay does win this game. They beat Minnesota, so they're sitting with basically the same record. If Detroit finds a way to lose, and they could lose that game on Monday night, that division, they're all tied going into the final week. But I love Green Bay. I would get that line. I would buy it up to at least +2, plus maybe even go to 3. I would even buy the extra juice on the game. I like the 3 on this game at +3 with Green Bay. Best bet for me on Sunday. It's the only game I'm touching.
We're agreeing for once on the game.
You guys
Yeah.
are agreeing. That's interesting. I love the fact that going into these last couple weeks of NFL, there's still a lot of unanswered questions about who's going to be in and who's going to be out.
Well,
it provides for good
Yeah,
games.
a couple of surprises too. No one's really talking about these teams, but they're quietly playing tremendous football. The LA Chargers and the LA Rams are finding ways to win.
Rams took out here
they,
the Jets
they
yesterday.
can sneak in. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They're playing really well. Harbaugh's done a phenomenal job with the Chargers and the Rams. Sean McVay, he's a great coach to begin with. But those teams are quietly playing well. As I said, right now it's up for grabs. I mean, Buffalo, the world beater. They had to squeeze by New England. Was it 24-21?
Barely.
They got the
So-
Packers tonight. They're big favorites, 14-point favorites against the Saints. I'm not going to say who I like in this one because I really don't like anybody in that game. But Green Bay's going to
Well, here's a
put it on
perfect
them tonight.
here's a perfect scenario. Is Green Bay looking ahead for that monster matchup this week against Minnesota? Are they going out to kick ass tonight, destroy them, come into that game real focused to play well against Minnesota? So
Here's the way I look at it. How often, and you can tell me this, Scotty and TK, how often are you giving 14 points in the NFL? That's a lot of points to
A
give
lot
in
of
the
points in
NFL.
the NFL. We just got
Es-
another touchdown over. We're up
Especially
21
with the
nothing.
situation. Yeah, listen, UTSA. Hope you guys watched last week's show because you get this game right here.
21 nothing, first and goal.
But yeah, that's a lot of points, Scotty. 14 points, 2 touchdowns in a Monday Night Football game.
it used
I would never touch it.
years ago, and I'm sure you guys know it being in the business like me, a double-digit underdog was a huge proposition to bet on in the NFL. But over the last couple of years, it seems like it changes a lot. Like a lot of these big favorites, they seem to be finding ways to blow these teams out. But I think one of the best bets over a long period of time was betting on a 10-point or more underdog in the NFL. So I understand what you're saying with that, giving up laying 14.5 points on a game. But, this New Orleans team's got really nothing going on right now. Yeah, they made a change with their coach. They got an interim head coach and all, but this Packer team is just finding ways to execute, and this Love, like I said, I've loved Love all year long.
Yep, he's a great player.
Scotty's been talking about Love since the beginning of the year, so let's let him go long and fulfill Scotty's wishes. Wishes isn't the right word, but I can't think of the right word right now.
Yeah, I looked at these games, and again, we're doing this show really early this week to try to help you guys out
Really
with some
early.
winning
2 days
selections.
earlier than normal.
Yeah, winning selections for sure. You're right, Teddy, on that one. Winning selections. So, I'm kind of limiting my plays this week because it was early in the week. I like to generally get a little more closer to game time to make my final decisions on these games. But I feel very comfortable with the plays I put out on the show. I'm sure you do, and I'm sure you do.
I love my plays this week. So right now if UTSA comes through, I'm 3-2 last week on the podcast. The podcast has jinxed me a little bit this year. I hate to use that term. TK has been crushing me on the podcast. Scotty's been kind of, I think, in the middle between me and TK as far as
He's
win
got
loss.
home field advantage being in Whiskey
Well,
Neat.
today he has home field advantage.
This is his place.
But
We're just like visitors.
He
here.
has come as a new member on this podcast this year, and he has kicked our asses. I'm man enough to admit it. But I will say this. The last few weeks, I have been hot. It's looking like I'm going to be 3-2 this week. But here's the thing. I was 3-0 this week on my free games going into the podcast. I lost the first 2 games I gave out on the podcast and then came back to win the next 3. So,
but you know what they say, Teddy? It's not where you're at. It's where
it's
you're
how
going
you
to
finish.
go in the future.
It's how you.
So
It's not how you start. It's how
he's
you
doing
finish.
it now, but we could be doing it.
Yeah, he could take me out
when
in the end.
2025 comes. We're looking for a
Hey,
big
and we
year.
still, a lot of people are saying to us, asking us, hey, once football's over, are you guys still going to run the podcast? We are going to run this show until the summer. We're going to run this show in January, February, March, April, and May. June and July,
You hear that, Ben?
we might take some time off. Ben, you already know, but we're going to be running this show
All right.
through May. So
I think we're gonna need a
get ready
live
for
show
it.
coming from Atlantis and
We
the
got
Bahamas.
to do a send-off toast, guys. I want to wish you and your family, TK, a happy holidays.
Happy
Same to you,
Hanukkah
Teddy.
and Merry Christmas.
All your friends and family.
And let's do it.
We appreciate everyone here at the Whiskey Neat that helped out today. Sophia and Brittany and all the other people
And
here.
of course, Ben, get on this side real quick.
Of
Come on,
course,
Ben.
Come on, Ben.
Let's bring it in.
I was
Ben,
going to bring you in, Ben.
the
Don't
star
worry.
of the show right here. This is Ben Castro, host of the podcast,
He makes
producer. He makes it all happen, guys. Big stuff.
Happy holidays to you, Ben, and your family. Ben was nice enough and kind enough to come here today, knowing he's driving 5 hours up the coast of Florida today to see his family. So we really appreciate you doing that for us, Ben, more than we could tell you. But guys, we want to send it off. Again, happy holidays to all our people out there and follow us each and every day. We appreciate you more than we can say. And TK, let the people know where they can find you and get all your great information you put out each and every day.
Well, the best place to find me is go right to my website, tkwins.com. I know we didn't put a lot of games out here because it's early in the week, but if you want my top plays all week long, all you got to do is go to the site, tkwins.com, or check me out on Instagram at tkwins. You can see all my free plays, all my promotions daily.
All right, here he is, my man, Teddy Brooks. Where can they find you each and every day and get
You
that winning
can,
information?
first and foremost, like TK said, go right to the website, thesportsprofits.com. Our packages, our articles, our videos, everything's on there. If you want a little bit more of a different look at things, go to Instagram, _profits_pick, no S after pick. Last but not least, youtube.com/@thesportsprofits. Guys, we're delivering the quality every day. We have now 5 weeks. Well, as long as this UTSA game comes through for us, 5 winning weeks in a row on YouTube and Instagram. And that's hard to do. I don't care who you are, where you're from, what you're picking. It's hard to win 5 weeks in a row. That's what we deliver to you guys. And you guys that watch those winners, we appreciate it. You guys that follow us and don't watch the winners, I don't know what you're doing. If you're following us,
He's
but
good
you're,
today.
but
I
you're
think
not
he likes
watching our winners,
I think you like being on the road, Teddy.
there you go.
Teddy
He
gets-
loves it.
Teddy's jacked up out
He's
of
like
the
the
studio.
Packers on the road. He's going against the spread, man. He's killing it over here today.
All right, guys.
That's where you can find us.
All right, listen, like I said, we love doing this show each and every week for you, trying to bring you that winning information. I am Scott Matthews. You could find me on my Instagram page, come directly to me. You could DM me, ask me any questions you want. I'll be glad to answer anything I can to give you that winning edge. Check it out at SM Sports Picks, Picks. If you're interested in what we're doing privately, we've been hot as crazy hot on these free picks that we've been putting out over the last several days and weeks. So check it all out. We put out free stuff every single day. But more importantly, check out this show. This show is what it's all about. It's called Get the Edge. Go on our YouTube channel. Just all you got to do is search it, Get the Edge, or go on Apple or Spotify and check it out. Each and every week we're up trying to give you that winning information. Hey, everybody out there, great holidays. Stay safe. Enjoy your friends and your family, and we'll catch you back here next week.
Thank you, guys. Scotty, quick question. What if they ask me for a 10-minute
Oh, that's going to be tough for me. 10-legger?
Let's throw some props in there.
I think I got to pass that over to
I
TK
don't
Buzz
bet.
for a
You-
10-legger.
I don't.
10-legger.
No parlays for me.